Okay, let theta be the angle with the point xy on the terminal side of theta, and r is equal to the square root of x squared plus y squared. R is your radius, folks. X squared plus y squared is equal to r squared. It's going to be the equation of the circle. X squared plus y squared is equal to r squared is the equation of the circle. X and y is your point, and r is your radius. Now, what do I want you to understand about this? Tangent is sine over cosine. Yes?
Yeah.
Tangent is 1 over cotangent. Yes? Tangent is opposite over adjacent. Yes? Okay, sine is known as your y-coordinate on the unit circle, correct? Cosine is known as your x-coordinate on the unit circle. Well, now instead of dealing with a unit circle of being radius 1, now we're going to deal with a circle of being radius r, whatever r represents. So what r represents here is going to be our radius. So if I have sine of theta, theta is going to be an angle. My sine is going to be y over r. Cosine is going to be x over r. If I know sine and cosine, I automatically know secant and cosecant, correct? Has tangent changed? No, tangent is still sine over cosine, which is still going to be y over x. Do you understand that? Yes or no? This is nothing new. The only thing that is new is the r is equal to the square root of x squared plus y squared. Yes? Now, the directions of tonight's homework are going to say, please get your books open actually to section 4-4. Page 284. For problems 1 through 4, it says determine the exact values of the 6 trigonometric functions of the angle theta. And it gives you a point on the terminal side. If you look at problems 5 through 12, it says the point is on the terminal side of the angle in standard position. Determine the exact values of the 6 trigonometric functions of the angle. Are those problems exactly the same? Yes. One gives you a picture, one does not. Okay? Now, let's do an example of this, just so that you're all on the same page. I give you a point, negative 2, 7. First of all, where's the point negative 2, 7 at?
Quadrant 2.
It's in quadrant 2. In other words, it's going to be the left 2 units, and then up 7 units. So here is going to be my angle. Do we see it? That point is on my terminal side. Terminal means my ending ray of my angle, correct? Now I want you to find the sine, cosine, tangent, and all the other 3 trig functions. So how do I go about doing that? What's the first thing I have to find?
Well, you have sine. You need to find your radius.
I do not have sine and cosine. All I have is tangent, technically. I have to find my radius because do I know that this radius of the circle is 1? I do not know that, so I have to find my radius. So how am I going to do that?
Plug it into
R is equal to x squared plus y squared, square root of that. So what's x quantity squared? Negative 2 squared plus 7 squared. 4 plus 49 gives me 53.
Can you just cancel out the square root?
No, you may not. Head and body. You cannot walk around this place without your head attached to your body. Okay? Okay, so now what's my sine? Sine of theta is going to be y over r, so what's y? Come on, what's y? And what's r? Do I like that?
No.
No, you're not liking that. Okay? 7 square root of 53 over 53. This is the answer that I like. Do we all understand that? What do you mean no? Too bad. You understand, you just don't like it because you're like, would love to do it again.
That's called rationalizing.
Rationalizing the denominator, absolutely. Now, if I know sine, what else do I know?
Cosine.
Oh.
Wait, hold on. So you got that by multiplying by square root of 53 over square root of 53. Okay.
Thank you. So now I need to find the opposite of sine, which would be
Cosecant.
cosecant. What is the cosecant of theta? R over y, which is going to be?
Square root of 53 over 7.
Don't even think about it. Just take the stinking reciprocal, people. Right? Don't even think about it. Say, I've already memorized 3 of them. I'm not going to memorize 6, right? Don't make it harder on yourself. Okay, moving right along. What's cosine now? Well, cosine is going to be x over r. So x is, what's x?
-2.
Negative 2 over r, which is?
Square root of 53.
Do I like that?
No.
No. So I multiply by the square root of 53 over 53. That makes me happy. We all like it. Everyone's happy, right?
Okay.
Okay, what else do we know? Do I know cosine?
Yes, secant.
Then I know secant.
Why does it make secant line up with
I don't know. Don't whine about it.
It is like
So that's the square root of 53 over negative 2. Yes? Okay, so now what's the last one I need to know?
tangent.
Tangent. So what's the tangent?
Y over X.
Y over X. That hasn't changed. So that's 7 over negative 2. Do I like that?
Yep.
Sure, it makes me happy. How about the cotangent? X over Y, which is negative 2 over 7.
Boom.
How easy is problem 1 through 12 for you right now?
Very, very easy.
I mean, cakewalk central, right? Are we all good?
Yeah,
Okay, 13 through 16. It says state the quadrant which each theta lies. Guys, it's a very easy concept. The most important thing you need to remember is this right here. You have to understand this stuff, okay? Because if I'm looking at, let's say, pick a problem, 13 through 16, which would be
14.
14. It says the secant of theta is greater than 0. Well, secant's what?
X. Y.
Secant is what? What is it the opposite of?
Inverse of.
It's the opposite of cosine. So essentially, it's telling you that the cosine value is what? Okay, let's read it again, quit guessing, and let's think before you speak. Are we all listening? Number 14, the secant of theta is greater than 0. If you know the secant is greater than 0, what else can you imply? They're the opposite of each other. The sine and the cosine value, the actual physical positive or negative aspect of sine and cosine are always, or I should say, sine and cosecant, cosine and secant. They're always the same. We understand that. If cosine is positive, secant is positive. If sine is negative, cosecant is negative. Do we understand that? So if the secant is less than, is that what it said? If secant is greater than 0, what can we imply? Conclude that cosine is greater than 0, which means where is cosine greater than 0? These two quadrants. Understand that? Go to the next set. It says that the cotangent is less than 0. Well, cotangent's the bottom value, right? So what quadrant am I in?
4.
I have to be in quadrant 4. And yes, that looks like a smiling face.
Which one
So
is
the
it?
answer for number 14 is going to be in quadrant 4. It's simply figuring out what quadrant you're in. On 14, you're lost?
Should I just put the Roman numeral for that answer?
Yes. 14. It says that the secant is greater than 0.
Alright.
Secant's the x value. Why is it the x? Because it corresponds to cosine. So that puts me in either 1 or 4.
Because it has to be positive.
Because that's the positive. You with me? And then it says cotangent is less than 0. Well, cotangent is going to be cosine over sine, which means my signs have to be opposite for it to be negative. Well, they're the same in quadrant 1 and they're opposite in quadrant 2 or 4, which means it has to be quadrant 4. Does that make sense?
Can we do 16 just see what I got, right?
After we're done, maybe.
Okay.
Okay, 17 through 23. It says find the values of the 6 trigonometric functions of theta. They give you the function value, and then they give you the constraint. Okay? Constraint is going to be the conditions that allow this to be a true statement. Do we understand that? So if I'm looking at, let's say, problem 23, it says the cotangent of theta is undefined. But it's undefined on what constraint? Well, it says that pi over 2 is less than or equal to theta, which is less than or equal to 3 pi over 2. Where in the world is all of that at? Where's pi over 2? Stop. Where's 3 pi over 2? The bottom. Well, if theta is between there, what quadrants am I possibly in?
2 and 3.
Guys, it says theta is between pi over 2 and 3 pi over 2. So can it be in quad 1?
0, isn't it?
No. I'm in these two quadrants. I have to figure out which angle has a cotangent of undefined. Now, whenever I say the word undefined, what should your brain automatically be thinking of? What does it mean to be undefined? Numerically, talk about something that you would use the word undefined for. Numerically, express to me something that's undefined. Something over 0, correct? If something's over 0, then that means it's undefined. Do we all understand that, yes or no? Okay, well, in order for me to have a 0 someplace, think of your unit circles in your head. Where is a 0? How many places do I have 0? Oh. I have 4 different places that I have zeros. I have the point 1, 0. I have the point -1, 0. I have the point 0, 1, and I have the point 0, -1. Do you see that? What can it not be? It cannot be this one over here because it's not in my domain, my constraint. Do we understand that? So my only options are going to be pi over 2, pi, and 3 pi over 2. But it's cotangent. So what is cotangent defined to be given a point? Cotangent is going to be cosine of theta over the sine of theta. And what is cosine? X. What's sine? Y. So this means, what can I conclude about my y value?
Y has to be 0.
Y has to be 0. Which angle out of those 3 that I'm allowed to actually use has a y value of 0?
That one.
That one. What is that one?
0.
What is that angle? Pi. That's my only option. So what does theta have to be here? Theta has to be pi. It's the only option. Do you understand that? Okay?
Doesn't find 6 functions for that.
Nope, it just wants you to find theta. Yes, no, I lied. It says find the values of the 6 trig functions. Yes. So now you have to find all of the 6 trig functions. So if you find all the 6 trig functions, you got to do the sine of pi, the cosine of pi, the tangent of pi, and then once you know those, you're going to have to do the cosecant,
So you just have that in the calculator?
and then the cotangent. Come again?
So you just have that in the calculator?
I don't want you to type that in the calculator. I want you to use your brain. Yourself. Are we good? Okay. The last one that I'm going to talk about is the next set of instructions. Now, are we all listening to this? This is going to blow your mind. So are we paying attention? Matthew, are you with me? The terminal side of theta lies on the given line in the specified quadrant. What did I just learn first of all? What does that mean? What am I graphing? A line. What's the equation of a line? Y equals mx plus b. How do I graph a line? Find the slope and what's the point? The y-intercept, right? And from that, I can get a line. Do we all understand that? So just by reading the first sentence of this instructions, I know I have to graph a line, and I have to use y equals mx plus b. That's going way back in the day and learning how to graph again, right? Next, it says find the values of the 6 trigonometric functions of theta by finding a point on the line. By finding a point on a line. How many points are on the line? Infinitely many. Is Trisha going to use the same one as what Jen's going to use? With the same one as Booker's going to use? Not necessarily. That just means that you're probably going to do the same way that I'm going to teach you in class. Because how many of you like to use really big numbers? No one. So you're probably going to remain as close to the origin as you possibly can, right? That's logic there, okay? So we have 2x minus y is equal to 0, and I have to be in quadrant 3. What is about the quadrant? I don't understand. Talk to me about the quadrant. Yes, but according to the instructions, it said to do what with the quadrant? The terminal side of theta lies on the given line in the specified quadrant. Why is the quadrant important? That's where the terminal side is at, which means I need to choose a point on that terminal side within that quadrant to find my 6 trig functions. Do you understand that? Yes or no? So immediately what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this equation, 2x minus y is equal to 0. I'm going to solve this thing for what? For y. So logically, what's the smartest way to do this? No. I want y equals mx plus b. I would not subtract 2x because I'm lazy. I want to do this in one step. Add y. So I have 2x is equal to y. What's m? 2 over 1, so that's up 2 to the right 1. Why am I going to the right 1? Because it's positive. If it's negative? Good. What's my b value? 0. So my ordered pair is going to be the point 0, 0, which means I'm starting from my origin. Correct? So I come over here and I'm going to graph this. I have the point 0, 0, and then I go up 2 to the right 1, up 2 to the right 1. What quadrant am I putting all my points in? Is that helpful for me? What quadrant did it say it wanted me to have points in?
Third one, sorry, down to.
So it goes down 2 units to the right 1, down 2 units to the right 1. So now I have points there. And more importantly, I have this lovely little line. Do we see that? Do I need that line up there in quadrant 1?
No.
No, why? I'm going to shrink her down. Okay? Now, I can choose any point that I want on there, can't I? What do you think would be a good point to choose?
2, 1. Negative 2.
Anybody want to tell me that the first time?
Negative 1, negative 2.
Thank you. Negative 1, negative 2 is the point we could use. Is that on the terminal side of that? Yes. What do we mean when we say we're on the terminal side? Bam. There's my angle. Do we see it? There's my angle. I can pick any point on that angle on the terminal side. What's another point down here? Negative 2, negative 4. If I choose negative 2, negative 4, am I going to get the same sine, cosine, and tangent values as what I'm going to use whenever I do negative 1, negative 2? Why?
It's simple.
I'll have to reduce. We all understand. So, with that said, I'm going to come back over here. I'm going to choose the point negative 1, negative 2. Now, after I've chosen the point negative 1, negative 2, I have to find my 6 trig functions. How do I go about doing that? I have to find the radius first. So if I have to find the radius first, r is equal to x squared plus y squared. So that's going to give me negative 1 squared plus negative 2 squared. And that's going to give me 1 plus 4, which is going to be the square root of 5. Can I find my 6 trig functions now? Can I? I absolutely
You know
can.
what you're doing.
Well, you're going to know what you're doing. Now, there is one problem that I want to talk about. So, let's go back, and I want to show you another problem here. Given the tangent of theta is equal to negative 5 over 4, and the cosine of theta is greater than 0, find the sine and the secant. Matthew, write it down. Remember, it's really like your parents.
It's an example.
Write it down.
You're gonna call my mom, tell her.
No, you're eating lunch with me.
I'm gonna see her or something.
I should. We'll have fish. Now, given the tangent of theta is equal to negative 5 over 4, what in the world does that imply?
I don't know.
Wait, what'd you ask?
Tangent of theta is negative 5 over 4. What does that mean? What is the definition of tangent?
Means
Sine
sine
over
is 5.
Sine over cosine.
Sine is negative 5.
Cosine is 4.
Well, I have a problem with that because we talked about this previously. Alec was the one that actually asked the question. He said, well, didn't you automatically know your sine and your cosine? If we know tangent, don't we know sine and cosine? And I said, no, because you're ignoring your hypotenuse, which cancels out when you do sine and cosine. Correct? What's your hypotenuse in this example? Your radius. Just because you know tangent does not mean that you know sine and cosine. What tangent is? Tangent is y over x. That's what tangent is. Do we understand that? So what does this imply about our value? Do I have a point?
No.
Yes, I do. What's my point? I have a 4 and a 5. I want to know which one's negative.
Okay.
5.
Are you guessing? Do you know? I know you're guessing.
4.
This is me.
You guessing or do you know? Why? Like, now, we have not used this tidbit of information, have we? I want you to understand that whenever we're talking about -1/2, negative can go in the top or the bottom or in the middle. How do I know which one it goes to? You got to say to yourself, well, this said that my cosine of theta was what? Greater than 0. So if my cosine is greater than 0, that puts me in quad 1 or in quad 4, does it not? What else do I know? No. What else do I know? Your tangent is what? Negative. Well, my tangent in quadrant 1 is positive. My tangent in quadrant 4 is negative. So what quadrant do I have to be in?
4.
I have to be in quadrant 4. Okay? This means we are in quad 4. That is extremely important because now which of those values are going to be negative, the 4 or the 5?
5.
The 5 is the negative value. Do we understand that, yes or no?
Yeah.
Because you had no idea why. Do we all understand why the 5 has to be negative and the 4 is not?
It sounds like you're doing like stuff. It says please not pay very good attention to say that it's like it could be done with
The same exact thing. I'm teaching you both ways because I'm teaching you this way because I need you guys to understand with the examples tomorrow. But yes, but she said, can't you just know that it has to be quadrant 4 because cosine has to be positive? It's greater than, which means your y value has to be the negative one. She's absolutely right. But this is why also, okay? Your brain needs to be able to make the connections with the quadrants. And I really, really, really need you to make those connections like super duper fast so that you can understand tomorrow. Okay? Now that I have my point, can I find my sine and my secant?
Sure.
How? Find the radius. Okay. Tonight's homework is,
We should make it to 28 from last 4.
that would be a negative on that.
But I ain't gonna do that.
Tonight's homework is 2 through 36 even. I already gave you even. Put it on me.
I got a game 3 hours away.
Good. That means lots of time on the bus to do your
There's no
homework.
room on the bus. You know, everybody's doubled up.
Go laugh.
I got a bag.
I can never do homework on any movie.
And it's like